But speaking of reckless driving, there was a horrific video that came out of Florida. An illegal migrant was driving a truck when he suddenly decided to do a U-turn in the middle of the road. Another car, a minivan, had no time to stop, naturally, ploughed into the back of him. Two people were killed instantly at the scene and one person died later in hospital. What was so remarkable about this? Well, firstly, he was an illegal migrant, but he was still given a commercial truck license by California, despite being an illegal migrant. And when the car smashed into him, he barely even reacted. Cool, calm, collected. He just stood there casually as the emergency services crews jacked up the truck so they could remove the remains of the people from under him. I mean, it's horrific and disturbing, quite frankly.
If I was one of the family members of those killed, I would want to know, can I sue the transport company who employed an illegal migrant in the first place, because he should never rightly have been on the road? And second, could I sue the state of California for issuing a driver's licence, moreover a truck licence, to someone who is in the United States illegally? He'd been in the US illegally since 2018. So he'd been there 7 years. I don't know how long he was driving semi-trailers for, but to do a U-turn across a major highway, that in itself shocking, but to kill 3 people, I mean, the family should be
unthinkable. Yeah, and I just do not understand how, I don't like the idea of sort of, pillaring all illegal migrants or whatever, but I do not understand how you can not be a legal resident and somehow fulfil the qualifications to get a driver's license, let alone a commercial driver's license.
But that's California, right? I mean, California have made a virtue of ignoring Trump edicts and indeed going against.
Well, I think you get a free bag of dope at the border as well, just to sort of send you anywhere. Welcome to California. But yeah, no, it reminded me of this terrifying. So when we were in Turkey in the middle of Ramadan, and it was also in the middle of a massive heat wave. And so all these people were really, really sort of exhausted, tired and dehydrated and everything. And we were driving along in this minivan, fanging along, and a truck very much like the one that we just saw, an actual semi-trailer, just pulls out in the middle of this highway from a kind of a crossroad, and it clearly just sort of hadn't sort of looked almost like that. And our bus basically turned into a concertina, was filled with young backpackers and everything. We thought that people were dead. The poor driver, we thought was dead. Everyone survived, thank God. But it's crazy. And you go to a lot of other countries overseas. You just think the road rules are they're more like road suggestions.
But it's also
road guidelines. And so
it's an issue here as well. I mean, a few weeks ago, there was a story that came out saying there was a huge backlog of driver's tests that there were like thousands of people waiting to complete their driver's tests because the laws have changed now. So if you have an overseas license, you need to complete a test. And the biggest reason so many overseas migrants were failing was because they couldn't read the signs that were in English. These are people that were probably already driving on the roads before the law changed and required them to do a new test. So, I mean, it's shocking it happened in Florida, but it does make you wonder, are we close to having some sort of horrific accident like that happen here? It's terrible.
These unsafe drivers are terrible, and as soon as I get my licence back, I plan to do something about it.